privileged to add another such man to this distinguished club, another truly pivotal figure in shaping the story of the San Francisco Giants, and just our second non-player honoree. Former Giants owner and president and friend to all of us, Bob Lurie. The bronze plaques adorning this wall were established in 2008 to recognize those who have distinguished themselves on the basis of longevity and achievement. Honorees must have played for the Giants a minimum of 9 seasons, or 5 seasons with at least 1 All-Star appearance in a Giants uniform. However, in 2019, the Giants executive team deemed it important to expand the wall to include other individuals like Peter and Bob. They've made extraordinary contributions to this franchise, and we honor their place in Giants history. And we really want to thank all of you who have come here to honor Bob.
Well, I'm taking a good look because it's been 30 years since I had a crowd this big in front of me. And so I'm looking forward to giving you my thoughts about today's extraordinary events. First of all, Larry, you are a special guy. You give a lot of credit to a lot of people and take very little for yourself. But I just want to tell you that you qualify for what, you're not quite old enough yet, but you qualify in the future for what I call a San Francisco patriarch. You're going to hear me talk about that in my comments. But it's someone who was born and raised in San Francisco who becomes someone we can't live without. And you are on your way to that kind of status in this city. I'm delighted, Mike, to be with you again on a dais. It's been 32 years since we sat on a dais running a campaign for the ballpark that Larry was talking about, and this sweater that all of you would like to have doesn't exist anymore. It's an antique, and I got it in 1989 and wore it during the campaign and throughout the ill-fated World Series. So it's an honor to be with you up here, because it's not only that you were a baseball player who meant so much to several teams, but most of all ours, but it's also what you do for us.
You know, I was candlestick, huh? Yeah. I was walking around this morning and I was looking at these plaques on the Wall of Fame, and I recommend it. If you haven't done it, it's really, they're very, very cool. But one thing comes across loud and clear when you read the plaques, and that is that being a member of the Giants Wall of Fame is something that is earned. It's not given. Every one of the men on that wall have earned their right to be designated Forever Giant. And there's no question, as you heard already this morning, that Bob Lurie has clearly earned his right to join this very esteemed group. Saving the Giants from moving to Toronto a mere 18 years after they moved here from New York, that actually turned out to be the easy part for Bob. The tough work began on day one. A few years before Bob took over the Giants, Willie Mays, the greatest player in the history of the game, by the way. Willie Mays, who was the face of the franchise, going back to the days in New York before they came to San Francisco, was traded. And he wasn't traded for the player that came back in return. He was traded for the cash that came in the deal, because the Giants needed that cash in those days to make payroll. So when Bob took over, he took over an organization that was running on fumes. It truly was. It was moribund. And he knew he had to rebuild it from the ground up.
When I got to San Francisco, in Scottsdale, we got the invitation for the organizational barbecue. And Bob and Connie Lurie were hosting a get-together that included everybody in that organization, from Willie Mays to the 25th man on our rookie league roster. Everybody, everybody's wife, everybody's child, everybody in the front office, everybody remotely associated with the Giants were invited, and it was a blast. It was unbelievable, and it was there that you really got the feeling that this is our family. We are a family. And it was one of the things about playing in San Francisco that you take with you when you're done. You're part of the family.
Thank you. I first want to say those are probably the best speeches I've ever heard in my life. So I certainly want to thank all the speakers for all their kind words. Actually, Connie whispered in my ear just now and said, the way some of this sounds, it's like you're dead. So anyhow, we've had, it was just, I was going to say, a fabulous experience. I was going to say, after Connie and after my daughter Dana, being involved with the Giants for 17 years on a daily basis was just an unbelievable, fabulous experience. Yes, there were some disappointments, and but it was exciting. It was just something every day, win or lose, and you suffered through the losses, and you were delighted with the wins. We had some success. As has been mentioned, in '87 we were in the playoffs, and in '89 we were in the wonderful World Series. However, going through an experience like I did, there's always a loss that stands out, and that loss was in '89 losing to the wonderful, sort of wonderful Oakland A's 4-0. I've almost recovered. So it was mentioned about the employees. That's one of the things that I just will never forget. The dedication, their contributions, and all the wonderful things that they did. There's a lot of them here today. I think first of Mario Leono. He's been with the Giants almost forever. So George Costa, John Salucci, there's just so many. And there's so many of the people that weren't working that are here today. And I really appreciate them coming out. There are two gentlemen I do want to mention especially who really made my life much more successful. And that's Corey Bush and Pat Gallagher. They're really great. Pat, they didn't give you any credit for the crazy grab. So we'll never forget that. Delighted to see a lot of the players here. Jeff, Dave, Will, I don't want to forget, Vida's here. I'm blanking out a little bit. That's what old age will do for you. But so Bill Lasky's here, Kevin's here. It's just terrific. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. So it's all been good. So somebody once said, enough is enough. And I think you've heard enough from me. Again, I want to thank for this fabulous, sensational honor. I will always treasure it and appreciate it. But one more person I didn't mention, and that's Larry Bear. He did intern for us, and I want to thank Larry personally for all his wonderful contributions. And also, I got to mention the manager. I am sorry, Gabe, but I know you've done such a sensational job this year, and there's so much excitement coming in October. So again, thank you.
Bill Johnson, we'd like to have you back up here, please.